Hi everyone, welcome to Bookpiles. I'm Rachel Rara, and this is my October read what I read in October. I read 4 books, and yeah, we'll just crack on and try and not waffle too much and get on with it. I've had to refer to my cards, and I realised I didn't actually write anything for the third book that I read, so we'll wing that one ish. I think I can probably remember enough. So, following on, in September I did series September, and the last 3 books I read were the first 3 books in the Sins for All Seasons, series. So I went ahead and brought the last 3. It's a 6-book series, and I went ahead and brought the last 3 and read those. So the first one is called The Duchess in His Bed, and it's Aiden and Selena's story. And this centres around Selena is a duchess, and her husband dies before she can produce an heir. So, under the laws of the land at the time, basically, if there's no children, she becomes sort of she doesn't inherit anything really. So she devises a plan with her brother to get herself pregnant very quickly and pass it off as the Duke's child and therefore inherit all the stuff. So she chooses Aiden, who is one of the true love brothers from the series, which centres on this family, and very quickly they meet, and they are very attracted to each other, and things happen. She does admit the scheme very early on, and they do work their way through that. It's a very nice love story, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I'm not selling this one very well because I haven't read my whole card, so yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, that'll do. That one. The 5th book in the series is The Earl Takes a Fancy, and this is the Fancy's story, and Matthew is the hero. Fancy is the only biological child of Etty Truelove. All the rest of the children are the bastards that were sold to her, basically. So, or given to her, rather. So the whole family have kind of moulded Fancy towards marrying into nobility. In the meantime, her eldest brother, Mick, has set her up with a bookshop. So she's working in her bookshop, and this fellow walks in, and there is an immediate connection. Now, he is an Earl, and his wife has passed away, and that marriage was a bit sus. I think the first wife trapped the Earl, and he has been very resentful of women being deceitful towards him. A year has passed, and I think on the anniversary of her death thereabouts, she has this letter, the first wife has this letter published in the paper extolling his virtues and making him sound like the most wonderful man alive. And Fancy has read this article, and she's clipped it out, and she carries it with her because he sounds like the man she wants to meet. So they meet in her store. He doesn't disclose who he is. I don't think it's the first night, but very early on they have a meal together, and somewhere along the line this slip of paper slips out of her pocket, and he picks it up and glances at it, and then realizes that maybe she's another deceitful female. So he sort of keeps his distance romantically, but at the same time he's drawn to her, and he helps her with some of the things she does in her shop, and just it was a really nice love story. I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm hopeless at doing these book reviews. Review in the looser sense of the word. The sixth book, I will put the correct title across the screen, is something like Beauty and the Beast, or The Beast Takes a Beauty, or something along that line. And it's the final book, and it's Beast or Ben's story, and I can't think of her name. Maybe I'll put it along here. I'll try. I'll have to open up the Kindle. I could look on Amazon. I'm going to need to look on Amazon anyway to get the pictures. So yeah, I'll put her name. And she is the daughter of a duke, a lord, who was found guilty of treason, and he was hanged for his crimes, and his wife then died of a broken heart, and the children are all basically penniless and homeless because all his money and his wealth and his estates have been stripped from him because of his crimes against the crown. So she is working in the East End of London, and she and Beast happen upon each other in the pub owned by Beast's sister, and her name escapes me off the top of my head as well. Anyway, he recognises immediately she doesn't belong in this part of town, and he kind of starts to keep an eye on her, make sure that nobody follows her at night when she finishes work, and slowly they are drawn to each other. He offers her a proposal whereby he will offer her a job in his establishment, in order to keep her safe, basically, and ultimately they fall in love. So, and that's I think their story, I think, was very nice as well. I really enjoyed the series. I'm going to talk about the series as a whole, and the others. I think what I'm thinking of doing is a video on the family series that I've read this year. So I've got the Bridgertons, I've got the True Loves, I've got the Rokesburys. Those are the three off the top of my head. I thought I might do a video and share my thoughts and tell you which was my favourite and why. So that's coming up at some point before the end of the year. And then the fourth and final book I read was Julia Quinn's Happily Ever After. So these are all the second epilogues to the main Bridgerton stories. And I think there are actually 9 altogether, because there's a little story of Violet, the mother, as well. And I actually really enjoyed this, but because I actually started the Bridgertons, effectively I've read the Bridgertons this year, although I did start book 3, which is that blue one on there just above my finger, the third one down. I actually read that 2 years ago, but I reread that this year. What I found with reading this was that I didn't always remember all the guts of each of the books, so I missed some of the little nuances in the second epilogue. And I think if you are gonna read this, you actually read the second epilogue when you finish the main book. Read the book, read the chapter. This, I've got 2 different bind-ups here. What is this? The Avon Books one. I think this has the second epilogue. Can I find it first? Yeah, so this Avon bind-up has the second epilogue in it. So I've got them for most of them, except It's in His Kiss. That's a different one, and it didn't have the second bind-up in it. So the second epilogue, rather. So yeah, I enjoyed this. It was quite fun to stroll back down memory lane with the family, but I think to get the most out of this, you need to read it straight after you've read the book. So read the book, read the corresponding epilogue, if it's not already in the book you've got. I don't know, out of interest, let's have a look. These are the editions that I got from Once Upon a Book Club. Creaky. I don't know if... Oh yes, it does have the second epilogue. So, yeah. Yep, so it does. These bind-ups do actually have... I'll put that in later, can't do it upside down. So, yeah, 4 books. I'm still ahead on my Goodreads goal. And, yeah, we'll see how we go with non-fiction November, because I'm really enjoying historical romance, but I'm taking a break to do non-fiction November. So, anyway, that's my take on what I read. All enjoyable, all would recommend, and yeah, that's it. So I will be back with another video. As I said in the last one, I'm probably not going to do a haul video because it's I can practically do it now actually. So I do that without disrupting my pile. So earlier in the year I read this Notorious by Minerva Spencer, and it was, I thought, one of 2, but it's actually now one of 3. There are 3 books, and this ends on a cliffhanger with this stepsister, half-sister, stealing the baddie of this book. Literally stealing him and shoving him in a carriage and taking him away. So I ordered the second book, which is outrageous. So that's the story of this sister and the baddie. So that's their story. So I got that in recent months. And then I discovered Infamous. And this is Celia and Richard. And I have no idea where Celia fits in at this point in time. I don't recall her at all. I don't know if she's in book 1. Or if she's in book 2, but I got this from Book Depository in the UK, so yeah, so I believe that's the whole set now, so I've got those, and where possible I do like to have the whole set rather than some on Kindle and some on not, which is the case with The Sins for All Seasons, and I'm fighting myself not to go and buy the 5 books I don't have, because I've got book 3. I picked it up in a second-hand bookshop somewhere along the way, and I'm really fighting myself. Maybe that should be my goal, is to try and source the others second-hand as they float through. They must be around. I don't know. Anyway, okay, no more waffling. I will catch you again in another video in the next week or so, I will say. I just have to get my head back into gear of recording videos and topics and things. So, but as we're coming up to the end of the year, there's certainly a few things that need making. Anyway, take care, read well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.